Welcome to London, 1814. The city is booming with the Industrial Revolution. Factories pump smoke into the sky, and among them stands the mighty Horseshoe Brewery. This powerhouse of porter beer towers over the crowded St. Giles district, where the working poor squeeze into cramped buildings. Inside the brewery sits their pride and joy, a monster of a vat. Picture a wooden tank as tall as a two-story house, held together by massive iron rings. 22 feet high, this beast could hold enough beer to give every person in London a pint. The brewery workers called it the King of Vats. But in St. Giles Rookery, the poorest neighborhood in the area, people lived in the shadow of this giant. Families packed into damp basements and tiny rooms, unaware of the danger looming above them. The signs were there. The vat's iron rings creaked and groaned. Workers noticed bulges in the wooden walls. But in the rush to make more beer for thirsty Londoners, these warnings went ignored. The brewery's clerk even noticed fresh cracks forming that fatal morning, but no one could have guessed what would happen just hours later. At exactly 6 p.m., store clerk George Crick was checking numbers in his brewery office when he heard it, a sound like distant thunder. Then came the crack. That massive iron ring, the one that had been creaking for days, finally snapped. What happened next was pure chaos. The force of 323,000 gallons of beer didn't just break the vat, it triggered a deadly domino effect. The massive wave smashed into other huge vats, and one by one they burst open like dominoes. Within seconds, a total of 8 vats had exploded. Think about the force of a fire hydrant. Now multiply that by 1,000. The beer exploded through the brewery's brick wall like it was made of paper. A 15-foot wave of dark porter beer crashed into the streets below. One witness described it as a roaring black tsunami that smelled like Christmas. The wave hit New Street first. Houses shook on their foundations as beer smashed through doors and windows. The basement homes of St. Giles Rookery stood no chance. The beer flooded these underground rooms in seconds, giving people barely any time to react. It came all at once, like a black wall, recalled Mary Banfield, who watched from her window. The sheer force knocked down the wall of the Tavistock Arms pub. Inside, dozens of people were enjoying their evening when suddenly their drinks turned into a deadly flood. The streets became rivers of beer, sweeping away everything. Carts, barrels, and sadly, people too. The locals who survived said the sound was unforgettable, a mix of rushing liquid, cracking wood, and terrified screams. Some brave souls dove into the flood to save others, while many scrambled to their rooftops, watching helplessly as their neighborhood drowned in beer. In just minutes, the heart of St. Giles had transformed into a lake of porter beer, and the worst was yet to come. 8 lives were lost that day. Among them, Eleanor Cooper and her teenage daughter Mary, trapped in their basement home while doing laundry. Rescuers found them later, Eleanor still holding her daughter, both drowned in beer. The youngest victim was 3-year-old Hannah Banfield, swept away during a tea party at the Tavistock Arms pub when the beer wave collapsed the wall. 5 children, 2 women, and 1 man, all lost in their own neighborhood. While heroes like Thomas Mulvey dove repeatedly into the flood to save lives, something disturbing happened. Crowds rushed to the scene not to help, but to drink the spilled beer, seriously delaying rescue efforts. They collected it in containers and even drank directly from the flood while people were dying nearby. These weren't just statistics. They were neighbors who died in their own homes, in a disaster that turned an ordinary Monday evening into a nightmare no one could have imagined. The London beer flood forced the brewing industry to face its demons. Within months, new safety laws required regular vat inspections. Iron hoops had to be replaced at the first sign of rust, and no wooden vat could be larger than 20 feet. But humans rarely learn from just one disaster. In 1814, London drowned in beer. In 1919, Boston drowned in molasses. In 1933, another London brewery's vat collapsed. Each disaster brought stricter rules, leading to today's ultra-safe steel tanks and computerized monitoring systems. If this slice of bizarre history caught your attention, don't let it slip away. Hit that subscribe button for more incredible true stories that time forgot. Ring that bell to join our growing community of history lovers. And hey, leave a comment below telling us what historical disaster you'd like to learn about next.